Euromeeting 2000, an opportunity for young people to become just one people, a European one. This event has been organized by the Municipality of Concordia and Bassa Modenese Association for 3 years. It was born last year for involving young people about European Union and for making young people from different countries meet together. This year, the participants, all between 18 and 26, were 73. They came from France, Germany, Slovakia, Hungary, and of course from the provincia of Modena.
The Municipality of Concordia promotes Euromeeting 2000 because of the success of the first Euromeeting. Euromeeting has been planned again with the aim at creating a European consciousness among young people coming from all over the Europe. We would like to reach this aim, living together 10 eventful days, organized in educational sessions, workshops, and free time.
Euromeeting starts on 29th July, when the young Europeans arrived and had their accommodation in the Italian host families. After the Major's introduction and greeting, everybody has dinner eating the most typical Italian food, pizza. The next day, trip to Venice, one of the most appreciated Italian towns. On Monday, people reach Cesana Torinese, a typical small village of the Alps, at 1,300 meters in Val di Susa, Piemonte, not so far from the more famous Sestriere, from Monviso and from the French boundary. This day is the most important moment for Euromeeting. Let's listen to Simone and Valeria, the camp organizers, about its aims.
First of all, we try to give the opportunity to the participants to meet each other and to share experience. We try to use one common language, English. The second aim was to reinforce European identity and to deepen the theme of active citizenship.
But what does it mean, citizenship?
Citizenship has many different meanings for all the Europeans because of all the immigrants. So we thought it was a great idea to give the opportunity to the participants to confront about one's meaning of citizenship.
But you didn't stop on citizenship. You tried to discuss about active citizenship. Why?
We think that citizen politics is an approach to governance that stresses the role of ordinary people in making public decisions, in solving public problems, and in everyday environment. The practice of citizen politics both demands and develops the capacity of ordinary people to exercise responsible collective and public leadership.
On Monday, folk evening, introduction by the songs of one's country is the best way for creating the right atmosphere. The results are different, but the involvement is high.
3, 4. Quel mazzolin di fiori viene dalla montagna e guarda che non si bagna, che lo voglio regalare perché è un bel
Bac Spiritual 10. Macejko, Macejko, ko, zagraj mi Macejko, ko.
Two things, 3 songs and something else which will help you to recover from the shock which will
How did you organize your daily activities?
Every morning we met and expertise to develop one-day team. For example, human rights with Amnesty International, ethical finance with Banca Etica, and so on. After a first time of theoretical lesson, the participants were involved in works group to discuss or simulate some situations.
Amnesty was founded on the principle that people have fundamental rights that go over national, cultural, religious and ideological boundaries. Its main aims were to obtain fair trials for all prisoners, to end torture and executions, and to secure the release of prisoners of conscience. Prisoners of conscience, as Amnesty International defines them, are people imprisoned just because of their political or religious beliefs, sex, or because of their racial or ethnic origins, who have neither used nor advocated violence. Amnesty International members work on behalf of individuals, not to change political systems. Most of Amnesty's early principles and work styles are still unchanged, and the organization has grown to over 1 million members in over 150 countries. In 1977, Amnesty International was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for its work.
After Stefano Prate's introduction, the participants were divided in groups. Each one was concerned with a real case of political prisoner. The aim was to reach strategies for getting his or her freedom. The choice of the required means for this purpose being totally free, many different ways have been planned, from nonviolent sit-in to terroristic attack.
The inspiring grounds of ethical finance about the management of the financial resources are shortly synthesized in the following points. Transparency and ethic behavior in earning and saving money, transparency and ethical behavior in the employment and investment of money, particularly in the earning and employment of money, and in general in the world of ethical finance. The values that whichever economic institution should follow are the creation of a common welfare, to favor the credit for the weakest population who are not considered bankable from the traditional banking system.
After Francesco Bernabé's introduction, the participants were divided into 6 groups. 4 of them represented the association which had to introduce a project for financing. The other 2 represented 2 banks, a profit and an ethical one. When projects were presented, the banks had to decide whether they would finance each project and write down their justification. By this way, everyone could observe how banks work and which principles they follow for selecting the financeable activities.
Manitese is a non-governmental development organization operating at national and international levels for further justice, solidarity and respect among peoples. Since its foundation in 1964, Manitese has pursued these aims by raising public awareness about poverty in the South and lobbying policymakers and institutions, implementing development projects which meet the needs of poor people and may start a process of self-determination and self-reliance. In particular, Manitese organizes meetings, conferences, and workshops on specific development issues such as debt, trade, aid, peace. Every 2 years, an international symposium attended by 1,000 participants provides an assessment on current development issues by qualified speakers from the South and the North.
After Andrea Cuoghi and Enrichetta Ferraresi's introduction, a discussion on the theme of consuming and production processes and therefore of exploitation has taken place in groups.
Fair trade basic principles are to buy products directly from cooperative society composed by peasants, farmers, artisans, craftsmen and so on, to guarantee to producers a fair price fixed together with the same producers on the basis of the actual production prices, allowing a margin of investments in social projects carried out by themselves. In fair trade shops, fair trade circuit selling points, you can find a wide range of foodstuffs and handicraft works. These products are imported from 33 countries of Africa, Latin America and Asia. After Luca Contini's introduction, the participants were divided into 10 groups, each of them representing a nation. From the beginning, each country owned different materials, both first matters, pen, rulers, scissors, sheets, and so on, and human resources, number of members for each group. The aim of the game was to build some given geometrical forms, that is to say the final products, just by using the available means. Therefore, a simulation of the trade exchanges between rich countries and poor ones took place. The sentence Sustainable Development was created by the World Commission of Environment and Development, the Brundtland Commission, in 1987. The Commission defines sustainable development as material improvements to meet the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs.
After Cecilia Guaitoli's introduction, the participants were divided in groups, where they discussed and created a document about the following subjects. What kind of everyday activities mostly have an impact on the environment? What does this impact consist of? Don't you think that these behaviors could have a lighter impact upon the environment? If you were a public governor, which kind of rules, particularly about lifestyles, would you decide to propose?
On Wednesday, a middle camp evaluation for focusing on the Euromeeting's aims and making a balance about negative and positive aspects has taken place. After having analyzed the activities that have been done and the degree of involvement of the participants, it has been stated that the aims of the meeting are shared by everyone. That is to say, creating friendship, sharing different cultures and lifestyles, building and being Europe, becoming active citizens in it. On Friday, a little funny journey to San Sicario, an ancient village that is still unchanged, built following a typical mountain style.
And what did you do during the afternoon?
During the afternoon, we had workshops, and every participant attended at maximum 2 workshops a week. And they had the opportunity to test different arts.
Each afternoon, the participants were divided in some groups to take part in workshops activities. This year, 5 workshops focusing on communication and cultural differences have started up: internet, news and reportage, theater, cooking and music composition. Every day, millions of people can use internet and the email to find information and communicate together. Internet, the net of all the nets of PC, is a wonderful instrument, but you need to understand how you have to use it. There are millions of pictures, data, news, sounds, and so on, but just an access. That is the browser, a software that allows you to surf the net.
During my workshop, we have used internet and the electronic email. And we have prepared some personal web pages of the boys. And at the end, the last day, we have prepared the whole Euromeeting web page.
For a long time, music has been one of the most important expressions of the human mind, and it works with human beings in their growth. This workshop aims to give an approach to music to young people without claiming a specific competence.
During the music workshop, we analyzed some songs from different countries. After, we choose just one among them and consider its basic elements: rhythm, melody, words, and musical arrangement. We started with rhythm. which is the most important one, and began to understand the way music has to be listened to. We recorded then I Still Never Found by U2 on 4 tracks, playing as if we were in a real recording studio. Actually, we could practice how a song develops itself. After having recorded the rhythmical bass and having identified the melody, we changed the words of this song. Finally, we invented a new song upon a new musical ground. In the last 2 days, the workshop was focused on the composition of a totally new song. With the help of some participants who were able to play guitar, we created a melody, then the arrangement, and at the end we added the English text, which was, of course, about the Euromeeting theme.
Sul tema dell'Euromeeting e sul tema di questo campo.
It's flying over you. Europe is flying over you. Okay, all right. Are you having fun? Okay, all right.
The European Union recognized that the performing arts, including the theatre, are one of the most important expressions of the cultural life and democratic development of our societies, and illustrate the fact that culture is a permanent exchange between those who create, and therefore their works, and men and women who feel the need for cultural experiences transcending the logic of daily life.
We made a workshop of body theatre and one of building and using mask. We proposed this kind of work because after leaving a look at the problem, we realized that participants were involved in mind activities all the day. So we thought it was good to use only the body without thinking. During the mask workshop, participants have expressed their creativity in silence, using only hands. During the body theater, they used all their body. We used a technique of dance theater called contact improvisation. That is a work with close contact with the others. This helped also to know each other without speak. After the first embarrassment, they didn't want to leave. Our group used to work with dancers or actors. So we thought that our workshop could be difficult, but we have been surprised to see that also young people without experience could work in such a deep way.
This workshop aims to approach and to taste the different realities and gastronomic traditions that characterize the European countries. Among its goals, there is also interacting and playing with the operational and handy competences of the single participants and encouraging a multi-ethnic culture in the cooking and gastronomic field.
During the cooking workshop, we thought some international recipes, as it was requested from an European meeting.
Europeo naturalmente doveva partecipare un po' anche dal punto di vista della cucina per tutti quanti, insomma. Infatti
the participants cooked some international dishes, as paella, goulash, blanchet, French chicken and, of course, Italian pizza, which is maybe the most famous dish all over the world.
conosciuta, diciamo, in tutto il mondo. Naturalmente ci sono state anche comunque ricette che hanno, diciamo, un po' fatto piangere i ragazzi perché poi
Some little accidents also happened, like the rivers made of tears when onion was cut for a wonderful onion soup. After eating the final result, no more sorrow.
Like petroleum in the 70s, the information is by now the more precious resource of our time. Today, we live in what has been defined as the era of information. The use of television, radio, cinema, newspapers, and internet is by now part of the daily life of people in the Western world.
The objective of the workshop News and Reportage was to create a television news about the Euromeeting, in a formulation that was the same as in the real television news. Another aim was to understand how is it possible to manipulate facts and what kind of power people who controls mass media have. Our work methodology was to live directly the true life of a true editorial staff, and a really stiff timetable of Euromeeting helped us to play this role at the best. Every day, first we had to decide which could be the more important events of the previous day. Then we divided ourselves in two groups. One wrote the articles and the other made interviews with video camera and microphone. At the end, we gathered in our editorial office in order to edit. Firstly, the audio track was recorded, then the interviews, finally the images covering. We made experience of the great job upon which is based a seemingly simple news. We have experienced the time required for editing and assembling, the role of the voice, the musical choices, the rhythm needed for casting, etc. In the box below, you can see some scenes of the final product. The final assembly consisted of alternate the talking head to the several other services. At the end, the television news lasted half an hour, which is exactly the lasting of a true TG.
Thank you.
It's possible to assert that the balance of Euromeeting 2000 has been positive because the goals we had thought about at the beginning have been completely reached. In this week, a wonderful atmosphere of friendship and brotherhood has been established, and on this basis on the basis of these results, we mean to plan and realize this experience every year, trying to improve more and more. I would like to thank you and tell you goodbye on the next Euromeeting.
Time
Okay. All right. Europe is flying over you. Europe is flying over you. Europe is flying over you. Europe is flying over you.